interest on money borrowed, not the interest directly, but the interest on money borrowed to buy a motor vehicle, maintenance and repair, and leasing cost. Now I'll come back to this in some time because because I want to go through one of the problems after this. So yeah, just no worries, Lai.
Now I have
Okay.
to go get the new new vehicle.
Yeah, so you can deduct the interest, right?
And it's better to get the lease than to buy.
So, well, it
Have a
depends upon.
business.
Yeah, so
right?
now we're going to talk about the leasing cost as well. Even you
Okay.
can claim that leasing expenses too. But now if you buy it, there is something called as you can deduct the CCA as well, capital cost allowances also. So if you buy it, you can deduct the interest. If you lease it, you can deduct the leasing cost. Okay. Okay, let's focus it and let's go in line. Otherwise, we'll just get distracted and we'll get confused. Meals and entertainment. So how much you can deduct? You can deduct 50% of the meals. There are some exceptions to the meals and entertainment. The maximum amount you can claim for food, beverages, and entertainment expenses is 50% of the least of the following amount. The amount incurred for the expenses or the amount that is reasonable in the circumstances. However, there are some kind of exceptions. Cost of providing meals to customer for fee, cost related to fundraising event, reimbursed cost for employees at remote work location, and cost incurred for employees at special. So when you claim, you will have to calculate the allowable part you can claim. It does not apply in any case when your business regularly provide food, beverages, or entertainment to customer for compensation. There is no limit. As I said, you the exceptions. Or you are incurring the cost for fundraising event, reimbursed cost, or cost for employee at remote work location if the person is working at the remote work location, or for the special event. Okay. So that's just a normal meal expenses, meal and entertainment expenses. However, you can incur 50% of the rest. Okay. Business representation expenses. Yes. Now you are going for any expenses which you are incurring. But apart from this, if any expenses, you can only deduct 50%. That's something which is very important. Special event to all employees, cost incurred for all employees at special events, then yeah, you can, there is no limit. You can deduct it like 100%. Cost for employees at remote work location, reimbursed cost, if you're reimbursing some employees for the cost related to the fundraising event, and cost of providing meals to customer for a fee. Now, if you remember, I talked about to you about the bad debts in the beginning of the class when we were talking about account receivable, right? Now, deduct the amount for bad debt if you meet the following condition. Included account receivable in income. It is determined that account receivable is bad in the year. Now, what happened is, I'll just give you an example out here. Just a moment. I'm just trying to. Okay. Suppose an account receivable, you have sold the goods to customers, okay, of worth $7,000, just an account receivable, okay. So you are meant to receive this sometime in future, okay. Now, a mix of different timings, okay. So now, based on the account receivable, after some time, you realize it based on the information you get it from your sources, okay, that because 7,000 will be a mix of different customers, okay, to whom you have sold it. You have sold to the different customers goods worth of 7,000 of on credit. Now there will be based on the always sell the goods whenever you are selling goods on credit, or even better, when you give money on credit to somebody, you ask for interest, but at the same time you see the credit worthiness of that person, right, that party. So when you're selling goods on credit, even you need to look at the credit worthiness, whether that person will be in a position to pay you back or not, because business cannot run on emotions. You need to make sure that that person is eligible to pay you after a certain period of time when they have promised you, okay. So in that case, if the person has promised you that the person will pay you the money, okay, after some point in time, but gradually you realize it that that person's business is also not doing good and he is going bankrupt. So a customer whom you have sold the goods worth rupees $3,000 is gone bankrupt, okay? But for some reason, okay, if he or she is not able to pay it, okay, $3,000. So now you know that out of 7,000 you're not able to cover $3,000. So in that case, out of $7,000 from your income, okay, because accounts receivable you have added up as $3,000, $7,000, but because now $3,000 you will not receive, so you're going to deduct that $3,000 from your bad debt account. If you are sure that you are not going to receive this much amount from that customer because that customer is gone bankrupt or his financial position is not good, so you have to just deduct. So your total amount you will be reporting is just $4,000. That's an income. However, in the next year or in the year later, you receive that person's position gets better and he gives you $3,000 back. You will add it as an income in that particular year when you receive it. Okay. So that's something called as bad debts. So deduct an amount for bad debt if you meet the following condition: included account receivable in the income. If you already have an account receivable, then only you can deduct bad debt. If you receive amount of cash, you cannot deduct on bad debt because there is no bad debts. It is determined that account receivable is a bad debt in the year. So that means it's considered as a bad debt. Bad debt is not going to work anyways and he's not going to pay you back. So suppose, for example, if Eleanor is given me five goods worth rupees $3,000, okay? And I promise her that I will pay her in like 3 months. But my situation goes bad and I'm not able to pay her. So when she's filing the return, she is going to deduct that $3,000 because she knows now this person is not going to come back and give it to me. So that's something you'll call as bad debt. So you can report this as an expenses. I would like to do that expenses. Okay. So even the businesses, what Jesse and Abby, what are you doing it? Ellen, are you doing it? You can gradually, when you are selling goods on credit, okay, or when you're delivering goods on credit or food on credit, and you realize that person is not paying you, or again, there's one more aspect which I'll focus on it in a later point in time. So you can deduct that expenses as well. That's the one. So this is the expenses. Advertising, meals and entertainment, dead debts. So you can deduct that amount here. You don't have to deduct directly from their account receivable, but give the full amount of account receivable and deduct the amount of bad debts out here. Okay. So that's something which you can deduct it. That's just to show you. Okay. So that was just the bad debts. So motor vehicle expenses, we already a little bit talked about it, but we're going to go a little bit in detail with motor vehicle expenses. Now you can deduct the expenses you incur on your motor vehicle if you use it for the purpose of earning income. So either interest on money borrowed to buy a motor vehicle, or if it is on lease. Motor vehicle can be, as I think Eleanor already mentioned, if it is your own motor vehicle or you have leased the motor vehicle for doing business. So if you have leased it, you can also deduct the leasing cost. Okay. So try maintaining full logbook. That's one of the very good record. So that in that case, you can give me a second. I'll just drink a sip of water.
Yeah, we should have this also, Miss Fatima. We don't have this book.
You don't have this? Okay. Yeah. So try maintaining that full logbook from year onwards, because you know what, this year it's okay. You must not have maintained it. You gave it like an estimate of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but try maintaining a full logbook. You will get the pro forma or anything online if you go to CRA. How do you maintain it? Or else you can just maintain it yourself by mentioning the date, destination, purpose, and number of kilometers you drive.
We're doing diary for that.
Yeah, print a proper proper page and a similar pro forma. You use it every time and fill in just the amount. You don't have to write again every time. Just write the amount and the date and everything, so it gets easy for you. See, it's written as record the odometer for each of the vehicle at the start and end of the fiscal period.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that what is the total amount kilometers you have driven, and there is a calculation for that as well. So suppose for first quarter you have used it 55%. Second quarter you have used your motor vehicle for 25%. Okay. Suppose total odometer, like it can happen in that way also, that you know what, in the beginning of the year the kilometers started is like 7,000 kilometers. At the end of the year the kilometers is like suppose 20,000 kilometers. I'm just giving an example. So the total kilometer used during the year is 13,000 kilometers. So out of 13,000, what percentage you have used it? Okay. So after calculation, after putting maintaining this full logbook, you will be able to find the percentage, because logbook will give you the total amount, the total number of kilometers you have used during the year for business purpose. So in that case, 25%, 50%. So in every quarter, if you calculate it, it becomes more easy for you, because you will be able to pay into installment as well, right? So in that case, it's very easy for you to keep the record, to not estimate it, and to not have a wrong estimate. Sometimes you might have even underestimated, and you might not claim the actual money what you really want to claim it. So this is a good way to keep a record of it. And you know what CRA says? If you go a little bit further research, I might take you to the page later on. But if you go to the page, let me take you to the page if at all I can. Okay, just so that it becomes nice and easy for you guys. Give me a second, if I can, because that's an online page. What I was going through it, and yeah. So if I have that open, I'll take you, and then I will give you a break. Okay, after this discussion, and then we come back. We discuss again the same thing. We continue discussing the same thing. Give me a second. I think I have that page here. Yeah. So there's like a proper motor vehicle. I'm going to show you where. I don't know whether I can scroll it or not. Okay. Let me take you there. Okay. Guys, this will be a good guide for you guys. Now, those who are doing business, I just wanted to show you. See, this is the way motor vehicle expenses. So calculating motor vehicle expenses you can deduct, because we cannot cover everything in one class, or we cannot cover every detail, right? But this is a good guide for you guys. So if I show you, see, this is a full logbook. Now you use this, as I mentioned it. Yeah, you can use the logbook, and you can mention the odometer. If you change motor vehicle during fiscal period, record the dates of change and odometer reading when you buy, sell, trade vehicle. Eleanor. Even for simplified, like now what happened is, like, this is a full logbook, right? For the whole year, guys. For the whole year, you maintain the full logbook. Now, if you assume that next year also your kilometers you're going to drive is almost similar, a little bit here and there, like 10% plus or minus, then you can just maintain a simplified logbook, guys. In simplified logbook, what happens is that you don't have to maintain the logbook for the whole year, but you just have to maintain the logbook just for one quarter. That's called a simplified logbook. So what happens is that if you maintain the simplified logbook, because you know that you're going to maintain, like, say, for example, this is just an example. An individual has completed like logbook for the full 12-month period. Can everybody see this, guys?
Yes.
Okay. An individual has completed a logbook for the full 12-month period. It showed a business use percentage each quarter, like they've used 52%, 46%, 39, and 67%. And an annual base use of vehicle as 49%. So they've used the annual base of 49%. However, every quarter they have used this. Okay. In a subsequent year, a logbook was maintained for 3 months sample period during April, May, and June. That is the second quarter. It shows the business used 51%. So in base year, the percentage of the business use of the vehicle for the month April, May, and June was 46%, if you could see. Next year, it was 51%. So you can just calculate your kind of use of business vehicle. So that's like 51 divided by 46 into 49 is equal to 54%. So on an average, you can calculate it. So CRA would accept, in absence of contradictory evidence, the calculated annual base use of vehicle for subsequent year as 54%. So you need to have just the simplified logbook. You don't need a kind of detailed logbook next year, because if your business is just plus or minus 10%, the calculation annual base use is within 10% of the annual use in the business year. if it's lower than 39 or higher than 59%.
So it's in the base year.
Yes, the base year is this,
Mm-hmm.
the logbook, okay, full logbook. So that's how they calculated this. And you
So,
just calculate the simplified logbook and see if it's just working. See, simplified logbook, what does they say? You can choose to maintain a full logbook for one complete year to establish a base year business use of vehicle. After one complete year of keeping a logbook, to establish the base year, you can use a 3-month sample logbook to foresee business use for entire year. As long as the usage is within the same range, as I said, you're not exceeding, like it's within the 10% of the result of your base year. Business will have to show that the use of vehicle in the base year remains representative of the normal use. The business use of the vehicle in subsequent year will be calculated by multiplying the business use as determined in the base year by the ratio of the sample period and the base year period. So this is the calculation. It's already there. So where the calculated annual business use is later goes up or down more than 10%, the base year is not the appropriate indicator of annual use in that later year. So in such case, the sample period logbook would not be reliable for 3-month period it has maintained. So for the remainder of the year, the business use vehicle would needed to determine based on actual record of the travel. Guys, you're getting that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's good. So it will be a good guide for you guys, you know. For those who are doing business and car is very prominent for them, it's a very good guide for you guys. Okay, so that's something which you can use it. You don't have to maintain the full logbook every year. If it is just used like within 10% every year, like this plus or minus 10%, you know, within that 10% range. But if it is more than that, then you have to maintain the actual full logbook. Okay, guys, I would say by maintaining full logbook so that even if you go further, you don't have to worry about it unless and until you feel the business is not really doing good or business is just within the range. Okay, so what we do is we are going to talk about the vehicle loan interest expenses after we meet. It's already 12:06, so I'm sure some person would want a break. So we go, we come back, and we complete the rest of the part. So we'll be doing vehicle loan interest, vehicle leasing expenses, capital cost allowances, and there are some specific deductions. That's it. Okay. But this is very interesting. Again, the
Yeah.
leasing expenses.
Yeah, most of my friends with business, they use vehicle like for lease.
Oh, they use the leased vehicle.
They don't use their own vehicle for business.
Okay, they use the leased vehicle so that
Yeah.
they can deduct the. Okay, that's really
Yeah.
nice.
I think that's better.
That's the best. I think my husband told me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just use the lease.
And
Okay.
it's very low price every month to pay.
You don't have the responsibility again, so that's a good
Yeah,
thing. Okay.
and you can have every year new car.
Yeah.
Every year.
That's a good
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Will you declare that to the, like when you list, when you're gonna say that you're gonna use it for business?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good for business. The
You
list.
didn't know your accountant
They're
didn't told you
using.
about that?
You can,
No.
Yeah.
What I mean is, for example,
That's
I'll
the
go
best.
I'll go to Honda and then I'm gonna declare it that I'm gonna use the car for business.
Yes.
you don't have to declare.
Yeah,
it,
you
just
don't have
lease it.
to tell them. You don't need to tell them.
You just have to get it and
just
lease
lease
for
the
your
car.
own purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very low price than to pay it for your own buy
Okay.
installment.
I
For
thought it's
your
all gonna be
personal.
paperless, like we have online or computerized document file. Yeah. Like even if you can maintain the, you don't have to make it like more of a, you can say that in terms of logbook, you don't have to maintain it manually, but you can put it online as well and take a print and submit. That is just for your purpose. Yeah.
That's best for Jesse and Abby because they're always running.
Yeah, they have the car as a
That's
main
the best
thing,
for
right?
you.
So
Yeah.
Jesse and Abby, you can claim lots of phone.
That's
phone
better
expenses
for
as
you
well,
guys
okay?
to get the list.
I'm sure you must be deducting claiming the phone expenses as well, right?
Yes.
Because your calls will be like one of the major expenses which you incurred. So you can
And the
claim the
gas.
phone and the car expense. Yes.
The gas, oh my god, it's cheaper gas right now. But still.
Yeah, gas is very cheap nowadays. Oh gosh.
Oh my god, when I learning how to drive 2005, $1.50 per.
Really?
Yeah, $1.50. Now how much? 16.
Wow. But it's interesting to know more about it, right?
2005 when I
Guys,
started.
I'm going to, I know not everybody would be interested, but for everybody's purpose, I know because I've researched some very good PDF document just for the self-employed people, okay? Self-employed, just filling the form, just guidelines to fill the form for our T2125 and even for farming, professional or for partnership, okay? So I'm going to send it to you. If you really want
Hey,
to
yeah.
refer it for your future, it's really good, okay?
Yeah,
So I'm going to send it to you right away. Give me a moment. And yeah, so in that case, it'll be a good help for you guys. And then once you receive it, just tell me, and then you can go for a break, and we come back and we continue doing that. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
No worries. It's loading. The page is loading. Okay, there you go. Anybody knows where Victor is?
He's been missing for
For quite a while, right?
For ages.
Ages and ages. Not only ages, it's ages and
Okay.
ages.
Ages and ages and ages.
Yeah, give me a second. It's like 110-page guide, but I know, so don't get overwhelmed by that number of pages. Not everything is relevant for you because they've talked about farming and fishing as well a lot. Okay, so you can just go through the slides. Not now, maybe in offline time. I've no worries. Esther, you're okay? Looks like you've applied nice lipstick as well today. Yeah, well, you are unmute. Can you? Well, you are mute, Esther. I cannot even listen to you. And now I'm okay. Now I can listen to you. Esther, you look like as if you have gone on a date and come back.
Ma'am, I give a message to all mothers. I was one of the speakers in the church online. So I was
Wow.
out like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I talk about mother's love. Now
Hey,
I'm back.
yeah. Today
Happy
is like
Mother's Day,
tomorrow
Yeah,
is
happy
Mother's Day,
to
right?
all
Tomorrow
mothers.
is Mother's Day.
everyone.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah, happy
mom.
Mother's Day,
thank you.
guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the mothers.
Wow,
Got it,
ang ganda ni
Michelle? Good.
ate.
Thank
Good,
you,
guys. So,
ma'am.
guys, you received it. Then you go for a break. We see you at 1:15 back, okay? I'm hungry now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And if you don't receive it,
Happy
just tell
Mother's
me
Day
after
to all
break. I will
mothers.
send it to you again, okay?
Happy Mother's
Thank you, ma'am.
Day.
Happy Mother's Day
Ano,
to everyone.
No worries.
See you at